Welcome to the Sports MVT Insider, a platform where we are unrelenting in covering women in sport across all sporting codes, and we also love to celebrate those sporting achievements, whether they are big or small, because it's so important to celebrate these ladies on and off the court as well. But today we are talking to a lady that our football fans will be quite familiar with. Now, she's the longest serving captain of our ladies football team, and she also captained the team between 1994 and 2002, and I'm certain that you know her quite well. Her name is Desiree Ellis, and she's currently the head coach of Banyana Banyana. Desiree, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Stuck in my flat though due to COVID, but it is what it is at the moment, and I really appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. I know that COVID-19 has put so many of us into somewhat of an uncomfortable position, and it's something that we can't ignore. But the most important thing I'd like to mention is that you're fit and healthy, and that's always a good thing to hear.
No, most definitely. We got to stay healthy. We got to make sure that we're safe. And we got to make sure that we take care of ourselves and those around us.
Definitely. I would love to start the conversation here, Desiree. How did you actually fall in love with coaching? Because, I mean, originally we saw you as a footballer, then all of a sudden, slowly, we saw you becoming a coach as well. How did that journey come about?
Look, I think as players on the field, you are already coaches. I think that's the most important thing for people to understand, because you are guiding someone, you are coaching someone on the field. But I started way back when I was still a player. I think my first big coaching thing was the Nike Premier Cup, when it was held for girls and boys in 1999. I was the coach of the girls team. We ended in third position. That's when coaching really started for me. I did my introductory course way back then when I got injured at one of the camps. I got injured and a friend sent me home, and I did it under 𝗀𝗻𝗃 back in the days. So that was a very long time ago. And then from there on, I coached various teams. Team Western Cape, I coached under 19 girls. I coached at school level. I did all kinds of coaching jobs in between. You think you can play forever, but it's not possible. So, that was possibly the next step for me to go in, and that was coaching.
Absolutely beautiful. Now, you talk about the fact that you've coached at so many different levels across so many different years, but what type of a coach are you? Because we've heard players talk about different coaching styles, and we would love to know what's your coaching style.
Look, I think if I think of everything, a little bit of a holistic coach where each one has to play a role, which includes the technical team, the medical team, the support staff, and the players. Each one plays their role. We take input from players, etc. We have a sort of a captain's group, we interact with, but also a little bit of a democratic type of coach where you give freedom and encourage input, because for us, everybody plays its part. The technical team, the assistant coach, the fitness trainer, the goalkeeper coach, the analyst, including the medical team, because we cannot do without each other. So I would say that is the type of styles that I like to have within my coaching. Sometimes when I raise my voice, then players look at me, because I'm actually a soft hearted person by nature, but that's not a weakness. That's just your character and who you are, And I think you can't coach without caring. Doesn't matter what level it is. You become so attached to the players that they become family, and they become like really close family away from family. So that's the type of coaching style that I have.
Definitely. I would love for us to talk about the national training camps. I think so often we in the media hear that, no, the players have gone away to a national training camp and they're sharpening and getting ready for a particular tournament. And often we don't necessarily know what takes place at a national training camp. What is a normal day like in a national training camp?
Well, I think days are different. When you come in, it's obviously medical's done and screening done, and everybody goes to collect their clothing. You then have a team meeting about the purpose of the camp, etc. But a normal day, especially now during COVID, would start with the screening of the staff, the screening of the players. Then there would be a breakfast. We would sometimes have a bit of analysis on the opponents that we're playing. We would then have lunch. We would then, after that, not long after that, but after that, we would depart for training. We do training, and sometimes we'll do individual sessions, team sessions. Sometimes we would have a little bit more to show on the opposition we are playing, and then we would have dinner. There would also be a snack time and devotions. And then obviously players would go to their rooms. But in between all of that, as staff, we sit together. Our training is planned in advance of what we're going to do, but it's obviously subject to change, with players coming in from different clubs, and having to monitor the load and everything else. So that is basically what a day is like, a normal day is like. We look at the training, and see if we've reached our objective. We then go back into the footage and maybe call in players and sit with players, not just myself, but the assistant coach as well, along with the goalkeeper coach, the fitness trainer. We sit and we sort of discuss things, whether we've reached the objective for the day. And sometimes we change the training for the next day. It depends, but that's what a normal day on our national camp would look like.
Definitely. I would love for us to chat about a name that is synonymous with women's football, and this is a name that we definitely can't ignore. Her name is Vera Pauw. What did you specifically learn from a coaching perspective from such a big name in women's football?
Look, I wish I had someone like that when I was playing. She planned success without compromise. She always said that when you are appointed, you are appointed to perform and not to be nice. And always follow the processes. Because you cannot compromise that. And very detailed, very, very detailed. Would study teams extensively. I remember for the Olympics, we had so many games on our three opponents. How they played against different types of opponents, and a planning. A planning was so important. A planning to be able to prepare in advance, to do research. She was very thorough, very detailed. And that is one thing, when I was playing, you just go play, and I know that I'm not the one to pick up someone at a corner kick because I'm one of the shortest, but she was very, very detailed and very meticulous in that. And that is many of the things. I actually still stay in contact with her, though. You can't lose a mentor like that. She's always been a mentor. So I stay in touch with her most of the times, along with other coaches who I bounce things off as well.
Let me take you back to February 2018. Now, that's the moment when you were officially announced as the new head coach of Banyana Banyana. Was this a surprise to you, or did you somewhat feel it coming, and it's possibly something that you wanted?
Look, when I became the acting coach of Banyana Banyana, for me it was just about going out there, and applying what I've learned, not just from Vera, but the way I wanted to do things, and get expertise in my setup, and get that expertise in my setup. But I had applied for the job along with others, so I just went on and did my coaching, and whoever was appointed, I wanted to make sure whether it was me, that the team was left in a good position. And if it wasn't me, that someone else gets the team, and that they just carry on from there. But I must admit that it happened very quickly. And it's quite funny, actually, because I'd flown up to Johannesburg because we were going to the 𝗙cie Cup. And 𝗀cie Boyson, who was the analyst, who's now the head coach of South Sudan, I came to stay with her, to help her pack. She was leaving. She was going to the US to work with Vera, and after the 𝗙cie Cup, and then it just happened in that week so quickly, and I couldn't tell my mom. My mom is a very open person, and I knew she would phone family and tell family that I was going to be appointed. So I had to sort of keep it a secret from her and tell her that just watch TV. And then when the announcement was made, she didn't know because she hadn't watched. So you always have to be ready for that moment. I remember when I was appointed as the interim coach, I sat with the fitness trainer and worked out a plan. to be ready. You always have to make sure that you're ready when the opportunity comes, because you never know when that opportunity will come. So a surprise that it happened then, maybe, but it's all in God's timing. You can never question that. And it happened at the right time in God's timing.
Definitely. I would love for us to chat about the balance of being a coach and also having been a player as well. Looking at the things that you've achieved on both spectrums, being a coach and a player, what are some of those achievements that truly stand out for you? And have you been able to sit back and to enjoy some of the success that you've achieved?
Look, I played in the national team for more than 10 years, but the only trophy we really won was the 2002 𝗀𝗃𝗃 Cup, and that was amazing. But along the way, just the camaraderie and the friendships and wanting to get together to play as a team. Obviously, as a coach, you have different aspirations and ambitions then, but yours is not alone. Yours is a team ambition, a team ambition to do well at AFCON, to qualify for AFCON, to win 𝗀𝗃𝗃, stuff like that. That's a team ambition. And we pride ourselves on teamwork. It's not me, it's not I, it's we. It's always we, because we can't do without each other. And I think that has held us in good stead, Qualifying for the World Cup is most probably the biggest achievement of the whole group itself, to go to the World Cup. Just the biggest downside on that was not, grabbing the AFCON when we had the opportunity to do that, but qualifying for the World Cup was the biggest thing. So for us, that was a very, very, very big thing. And you plan short term and you plan long term, And coming on board in 2018, it was a big year for us, so we had to really prepare properly. And I think going to the World Cup, it's something that we'll never ever forget. It's one of the memories that you will hold in the back of your mind forever.
You talk about long-term planning and being able to move from one place to the next. And I would love to talk about long-term planning. I mean, in sport, we so often talk about legacies and how one coach leaves a legacy for the next coach. In terms of you being the first generation, if we could call it that, of a Banyana Banyana player, what would you like the next generation of Banyana Banyana players to learn from this current crop of ladies that we have in the national squad?
Look, nowadays, you play almost 13, 14, 15 games a year. I mean, I played for 10 years and I only garnered 32 caps. So we looked forward to that one moment when we got the opportunity to play. We made sure that when we got that opportunity to play, that we were in a good physical shape, that we were ready to play. So it's like, to want something so bad and to work hard for it. But nothing is guaranteed, as we know, And if you want something, you must not take it, but you must earn it. I think it's important that we realize that. For example, a player wins the Player of the Year. And if the player is meant to win the next one and the next one and the next one, then so be it, because the player has earned it. You can't say give someone else a chance. So everything you do, you have to earn it. And make sure that when you do well, that you sort of mentor the young ones coming through, so that when they step up, that they continue with what you've left behind, but also improve on that.
You're locked onto the Sport MVT Insider, a podcast for unrelenting coverage of women in sport. I absolutely love diving deeper into the journeys of our athletes, coaches, and administrators to get to know them a little bit better than we do. Coming up this Wednesday is an interesting round of quick fire questions, a great opportunity for some good laughs and some great banter. Keep it locked onto Sport MVT, where we celebrate our women in sport.